I got like 24 that are green, and they're just, it's good. It's going to be a week with me and my friends.
Well, in Texas, when I was in San Antonio last month, there's giving guacamole.
You are being live streamed.
Okay, everybody. Candle is lit. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Douglas A. Welton. I am the chairman of the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Planning Commission. Welcome to our July 14th, 2025 work session. We are meeting here in room 267 at the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Government Center, 600 East 4th Street. For viewing by the public and the media, today's meeting is being streamed live on the Planning, Design, and Development Department's YouTube page. So that's where we are. And we will get started as we usually do with introductions. And I'm going to begin all the way to my left with Commissioner Shaw.
Erin Shaw, Planning Commission.
Carol Millen, Planning Commission. Melissa Gaston, Planning Commission. Shauna Neely, Planning Commission.
Andrew Blumenthal, Planning Commission.
Michael Caparelli, Planning Commission.
Rebecca Wilden, Planning Commission.
Will Russell, Planning Commission.
Rick Winiker, Planning Commission.
Robin Stewart, Planning Commission.
Teresa McDonald, Planning Commission.
Terry Nasdell, Planning Commission.
Clayton Seeley, Planning Commission.
Thanks, everybody. And I'm excited we're all here today because nobody is off solving any problems with foreign trade or wars in other countries. So that's exciting. I think it's been a couple months since all 14 of us were here. And all 14 of us will be together next year again as well. So that's exciting news. Now we'll do introductions from staff, and we'll begin with the interim planning director, Monica.
Sure. Interim Planning Director, Monica Holmes.
Candace Rory, Planning Staff.
Al Knight, Planning Staff.
All right, thanks a bunch. We will go to our next item of business, which is the approval of the June 9th work session minutes. Do I hear a motion for the disposition of those minutes?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second, Gaston.
It's been moved by Commissioner Seeley and seconded by Commissioner Gaston. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Those minutes are approved, and we can go on to our orders of business. And for those of you who are in the room, you can see that we have a couple of slash marks through some of the items on our agenda today. So this means this meeting is probably going to be much shorter than it was going to be, well, like yesterday. But unfortunately, that's the way that things go sometimes. So we will skip directly to the director's update, and Monica's going to give us an update. Are you ready to give us an update?
Sure.
Yeah.
And just, we don't have a lot of extensive things to update, but I wanted to make sure that everyone was really well aware of where we are with community area plans right now. So we have a webinar scheduled tonight and one at lunchtime tomorrow that will be the same webinar format that we did at the previous one for those of y'all that attended. This is really our last call for getting information out around the area plans. I know that if you sit on planning committee, you guys moved it along at your June meeting. But this will be our last kind of big push for public input, and that's tonight from 5 to 7 and tomorrow from 11 to 1. They'll be split into hour chunks the way they were last time. So the first hour will be north and west, and the second hour will be south and east. Same thing tomorrow. So that's 5 to 6, and then 6 to 7, and then tomorrow will be 11 to 12, and then 12 to 1. Our comments portal will close on Friday. So if you have any last minute thoughts, comments, those will go into the portal by Friday, and then we will post all of the comments and responses to all of the comments by the next Friday. So that would be July 25th. So those will all be up and available for the public. Our plan is to go to Transportation Planning and Development Committee on August 4th and present all of the recommendations, any recommended changes, as well as major comments and issues and what this last engagement yielded. That'll be August 4th, and then we'll set the path from there forward as to when the final vote will be. So I'm happy to take any questions. Just as a note also, We will file in September, currently scheduled our first maintenance text amendment. So the first maintenance text amendment to the UDO will be coming in September, and then every 6 months following that, we'll be planning to do an additional, another maintenance amendment. Those maintenance amendments they could potentially include more than just kind of clerical changes. And so we'll be doing community engagement around the things that are beyond, though we'll be doing engagement on the issues that are beyond just a typical kind of cleanup item. So that'll be our new schedule. So you won't see a bunch of different text amendments. If you're on the zoning committee, you'll see those every 6 month regularly scheduled maintenance. And we're working with all of our internal departments to coordinate that so that if they have text amendment changes, they're included on that schedule as well. So any questions between those two things, I'm happy to take the area planning or the UDO. Then the third thing I just wanted to make mention of is that we are tracking legislation. As most people do know, the House is going back in session at the end of the month scheduled currently. So I think it's the 29th it's a Tuesday through a Thursday that they're scheduled, 29th through the 31st, I believe. And so we'll be tracking as things come about. No major legislation impacting land use has currently passed both houses, but there are several bills that we're watching and monitoring that impact whether it be transportation or whether it be how our land use laws or SB 382, which is what passed last session, that the down zoning provision, none of those things have currently passed this session, but we'll be monitoring at the end of the month to see if there are any changes, and we're just working with our lobbyist on that. And so we're kind of staying close with it. We have a bunch of internal systems in place that track all those things.
Commissioner Seeley, do you have a question?
Yeah, and piggyback on that, have you guys been tracking the changes with the big, beautiful bill and the things that it has allowed more in opportunity zones? I know that the barrier to entry has been kind of reduced. Bonds have gone from 50 to 25%, and I would think, as part of community area plans, really up the amount of units coming to those areas.
Yeah, I mean, we get a legislative update through our federal lobbyists on the big, beautiful bill and kind of any major legislation happening in regards to that. It doesn't necessarily have immediate impact on what our area plans say. I mean, the land use and kind of what the community vision is and what the output is would be the same. We'll continue to see, if we see trends and things happening around investment, but.
I will just second what Clayton was talking about. I read an article over the weekend, and there are some things there. I just think that one of the opportunity zones on the west side of town, there are a significant number of those all clustered together, and we are approaching the 10-year anniversary of the original opportunity zones adventure. And I think you can take your money out after 10 years, and I think the word tax-free or something goes along with that. So I'm expecting some impact on our area because of that, but I'm sure staff will be on the ball and catch that. So, all right. Does anybody else have any questions for Monica? Commissioner McDonald.
Just talking about the opportunity zones again, I don't know how they were defined previously, or if the city had input into that, how the board, the boundaries were defined. But I think as part of the new bill, there would be some expansion of opportunity zones. So just wondering if that's on the radar as well, to have an input as a city.
To my knowledge, we didn't have input on it the first time, but I can ask and see if from my knowledge, we have not had conversations around the expansion, what those geographies might look like. So we can follow up with economic development.
Yeah.
And we usually work together pretty closely if anything is going to change.
The original designation for opportunity zones, if I recall correctly, was done by the state. And so those were the places that got selected. It was not They didn't come to Charlotte and say, hey, what do you want? I think there were criteria, et cetera. So. Anybody else got a question? Otherwise, I will take this time to thank the Planning Committee for their work. There were 14 area plans. We parceled them out. Each person on the Planning Committee got 2 area plans to kind of shepherd through the process. There was a significant amount of engagement back and forth between folks to make sure that that got done. We had some good discussions there at the end. Lots of good questions. And, Planning Committee, sometimes meetings are not that long, but we had a couple of longer meetings just because everybody needed to have their say. And again, I think we went out into the community. I know I've been out in the community talking to a lot of folks, and so we got a lot of feedback about that. So I'm excited about that. All right, next item on our agenda is, oh, I should look at the agenda in front of me. Oh, yeah, this is our community engagement report. Again, because we're missing, we had strike marks through our presentations. So I'm going to begin with Commissioner Seeley. What have you been doing for the last month or so? We missed you at the last meeting, right? You were, yeah, another country. Spying on Russia for us. Thank you.
Yes, I was spying on Russia for us. Gosh, I mean, it's been a little bit since I've been here, so I've had a few meetings with different organizations, one-on-one with their executive leadership, from Rebic to the Alliance to others. I'm working with Arts and Science Council right now to bring the North Carolina Arts Caucus from both the House and the Senate to Charlotte to meet to talk about arts funding and about the needs of both grassroots and legacy institutions. And then over the next couple of weeks, I'm meeting with candidates for city council just to learn more about them, how I can be of service to them, should, they be interesting to me. But really just trying to make sure that I have, my hand on the pulse, anytime, anywhere. So.
Great. Commissioner Lansdale, what you been up to?
Nothing to report officially this month for my work, just trying to keep up with transportation, planning and bills. I will note on Monica, her commentary on our lobbyists, that does seem to be a hot topic for me over the past 2 weeks, and trying to understand how things have changed since January 2024, when we got the news of our lobbying staff and contract had changed. And we want to make sure that we represent the city better and the county better at our General Assembly in the state. Thanks.
Commissioner McDonald.
I don't have much to report officially. I've been on a long summer break. I did do some traveling in the last few weeks. That was very interesting from an urbanist point of view, visiting towns that have some great stuff going on.
Personalized ringtones are a wonderful thing.
Anyway, yeah, I visited a lot of small towns and more sizable cities over the last 6 weeks that gave me a lot to think about, and hopefully will inform my work going forward. Thank you.
Commissioner Stewart.
Yeah, similar to Teresa, I've been out and about over the last month or so, but nothing super important or interesting to report back to the committee.
Okay. Commissioner Winokur.
I don't have very much to report over the last month. Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Russell.
Thank you. Been a little preoccupied with a small extracurricular project, so it has hampered my ability to get out in the community and talk about it as much. But I am looking at trying to do some town halls about development, especially around North Lake Mall, because I think that's something that is needed. And so I'll report back next month with some updates on that.
Commissioner Weldon.
Yes, so unfortunately I was sick during the Tuesday morning breakfast forum around the transit legislation. So I did watch it online and it was really awesome. I'm also serving on the American Planning Association North Carolina Awards Committee. So that's been taking up quite a lot of time. Um,
Am I getting an award?
Not you. I'm just kidding. Love you, mean it. Yeah, but it's just really interesting to see like projects across North Carolina, like both in like rural and urban settings and like how they address the problem while taking into account equity and sustainability. So it's been cool.
Commissioner Capriola.
Okay. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, Commissioner Welton and I attended a meeting with some concerned citizens out in the ETJ. We were accompanied by 3 county commissioners. Their concerns out there were pretty much mirrored everything we saw in the CAPS comments, mobility, environmental, and tree saving. Like to really thank Douglas for coming out and joining us, educating the people, educating me, and the county commissioners who came out to join us too. The ETJ has seemed to has been the forgotten land, and with the help of Monica and Nan and the rest of the staff, they're slowly being recognized, and we greatly appreciate it.
Commissioner Blumenthal.
I spent a lot of time, if you guys don't know, also on the board of the Charlotte Ballet. And kicking off a campaign for a big redevelopment of that block. And it's actually had kind of more overlap than I expected with the land use side of things. So there's more to come, but a lot of conversation around how to take, essentially 2/3 of a downtown city block with the fronts on North Tryon, factor in the affordable housing piece with Laurel Street, factor in the development of a cultural institution, or the redevelopment, I should say, of a cultural institution. You have a bunch of the county-owned property with Howard Marshall across the street. You have all the transit things that we talk about. How do we take everything that we talk about and build that into this new project? Not to mention the fundraising component of it as well, which I'm very actively involved in. So there's been a lot of time on that over the summer, which has been fascinating. And then I've had a couple meetings as well with the ownership of the Charlotte Independence and the Carolina Ascent, and trying to work with them on both kind of facilities management, but also other ways to lean in to the city from an identity and a recognition and reputational standpoint. So it's actually there've been really cool meetings this last month with them, and hopefully there will be a lot more, and they'll be more present than ever.
Commissioner Neely.
So I too have been, those of us that work in real estate have been trying to get more opinions informed from my clients about what's going on, getting their opinions. I've been following the transportation things that have been happening and meetings regarding that. And I also spent a day in Raleigh in June, just trying to learn more about what our legislators are saying and what they're doing and how we can impact that.
Commissioner Gaston.
My month has been kind of slow in regards to planning activities, but it's been a good productive month. And as a real estate agent as well, talking to the clients about what's going on and what they're seeing about the changes and everything that's happening in Charlotte and how it's impacted them. So it's been a good opportunity.
Commissioner Millen.
Been attending as many East Side Neighborhood Association meetings as possible to beg, pray, whatever it needs to get them involved in the community area plan and transportation and getting their voices heard. And then attended the East Side Faith and Nonprofit Organization monthly meeting last week. So just trying to keep East Side pushing them, trying to get their voices heard, and it counts. So.
Commissioner Shaw.
Nothing new to report this month.
All right, thank you very much. And as usual, I'll do the last. I will come back to the East Side Charlotte East does a monthly Zoom call. And I think the last 3, 4, 5 months I've kind of hung out Carolyn's there usually, and the folks on the east side are doing some very interesting things. I'm very excited about the mapping that they're doing of the resources that are in their community. And I would like to see more neighborhoods and communities do that kind of mapping so that you know where the businesses are, where the churches are, and things of that nature. And the self-awareness within a community, I think, is going to, in the long term, benefit Charlotte East. I did give them this is what the Planning Commission does talk several months ago, and have been pounding along with Carolyn on the notion of get your comments on Charlotte on the community area plans. Also went and hung out with the folks in South Park area neighborhood span. And that's a very organized group. Again, reiterated the notion that the community area plans were out there and people needed to engage with those. And, generally when I show up, I answer questions that they have about projects. There are a couple of large projects that are coming into South Park that folks have some concerns about. And as those come through, they'll be dealt with as it's an active organization. They will be out there in the front. And that's a good example for other organizations in the city to follow. I went way out yonder to the Palisades. I went past the place where there was a fog and the dragons and across the river. And I think grandma's house was even, I passed that. It's probably a historic property and the city was going, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm not going to say that. Anyway, I finally got to the Palisades and I would say, 30 people there? Was that many?
Yeah, there's we had 35. We were
Okay.
expecting 50.
There are the folks in that particular part of the county have some significant concerns. And I say this a lot. The Palisades had between 2010 and 2020, the largest population growth in Mecklenburg County. One of the fun things about that was if you go across the state line, they had even larger population growth. So how does that all affect something that's not inside the city? And those folks have concerns about that. And I think we more or less tried to, nobody wanted to lynch me or anything when we were done. No, it's good. We were all good. Yeah. I didn't say anything stupid, I don't think.
Because I got somebody else to a tree.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I mean, it was a very good meeting. The county commissioners were there. And I think you can take this back to Arthur. Arthur agreed with everything I said.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty much the way that goes. So Arthur, if you're listening, you did. Anyway, it was a very good meeting. And those folks, I hope, feel heard. And if there are future meetings out there, I'll continue to go out and try and provide some information that way. Was Steelberry, Kathy, was Steelberry last month? Went to the Steelberry neighborhood. It was the Steelberry neighborhood, which is right up underneath the airport takeoffs and landings. And I swear if I had a slingshot, I could have taken out a couple of planes. I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but I mean, the planes were very low. And they come over very frequently. And those neighbors have some serious concerns about the airport's growth and what the community area plans mean for them. Kathy and Catherine were there. I think they did the best job that they could in addressing that. There's sometimes irresistible force meets immovable object. And that's my personal evaluation of that situation. There may be some other ways and people who are brighter than me that are going to figure out some solutions there, but the neighbors do have some concerns. I hope that they came away from that feeling like we actually listened. One person said, can I get that in writing? And well, we had the area plan there, so it is in writing, right? And last but not least, I had the West Inner plan. And I have grooved with the West Inner folks a whole lot for the last month. I had a couple of meetings up at Archive. I spoke to Historic West End Neighborhood Association. I spoke to the Wilson Heights Neighborhood Association. I spoke at the West Charlotte Coalition, West Boulevard Coalition, excuse me. Yeah, and I think that's about it. Had coffee with Ricky, but hopefully, and I'm speaking at Clanton Park, I think next week. So hopefully all of those folks will feel like they have had an opportunity to have their voice heard. And I sent along lots of comments. And again, like the rest of the commissioners on the planning committee, we sent along a lot of comments. So that was a vaguely hectic month, but I believe that we ought to, as commissioners, get out and be seen. I don't want us to be an ivory tower over here. That doesn't do anybody any good for us to be appointed and just hang out with ourselves. So that being said, that wraps that up. And the next thing we've got is committee assignments. And for the next year, and this is the drama of it all, committees will roll in September. One of the things that it's probably on our schedule, but we will have our annual retreat on September 8th. Did I remember the date correctly? Which is the second Monday. It's our normal date. We are going to meet up at Cordelia Park. More details will be coming about that. Yeah, Cordelia Park is going to be the place. I went and hung out up there and looked at it, and it's a very nice space with a beautiful view out the window. There'll be the necessity for us all to go stand outside along the railing and take a picture so that we can have the skyline in the background, and then we can Photoshop in anything else we want, like aliens or planes or stuff. Yeah, things like that. That's probably going to be 9-ish to 3-ish.
I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
I'm getting married on the 6th.
Andrew's getting married on the 6th. And so since we need to plan our, well, I asked you last time, I said, are you guys going anywhere? And you said,
Probably not anyway.
my mind has rolled off the rails here. So,
I'll keep you posted.
yeah, we'll just put a bed over in the corner. You guys have a good time. Oh, God. All right, so onward to our committee assignments. Everybody, we will swap over in September, and here are the committee assignments. And on the planning committee, we'll have Commissioner Wilden, Russell, Winokur, Lansdale, Seeley, and Neely will be bound together again. Commissioner Blumenthal will be your chair. On the zoning side, newbies, Commissioner Caprioli and Millen will join veterans, Melissa Gaston, McDonald, Shaw, Stewart, and I will hang out with you guys. All right? And that begins the after our retreat. Everybody will do that. Okay? All right. Now, you have a question?
Do we think mandatory referrals are ready for the Sealy-Neely combo?
I will just say you only get one Sealy-Neely combo for all of the mandatory referrals. So, yeah, but it's like a jumbo Sealy-Neely combo. Okay? So there we are with that. And the only thing left we've got is homework, people. And found lots of fun homework for us. Next slide. Do you guys know where this is? It's in Charlotte. Okay, yeah. It's 277 and 77. It's Berkshire Freeway. All right. Is there some all right. Yeah. All right. Now, the deal is, do we need all of this? All right. And the question is,
Freeways, we need to build more freeways.
We've got somebody saying tear down the roads. Can I have the next slide, please? There are freeways in our country without a future. It is one of the fun things about the Congress for New Urbanism. They have this yearly adventure where they kind of evaluate some of these freeways that maybe aren't the fun that they used to be or serving the purpose. And I've got a second link there as well. And I don't know, how many of you have looked at the time machine map for the city of Charlotte? All right, it goes back to 1938 and it skips up to like 51, and then there are a bunch of stuff in the 70s and then current. I would advise you to take a look at what that intersection of Berkshire Freeway and 77 used to look like. Take a look at all of the land. One of the things that happened, maybe this is about 10 years ago, so maybe somebody knows exactly, where South Boulevard comes into Uptown on the former Stonewall Street, right? There used to be bunch of empty land there. And I believe that when that intersection was reconfigured, they reclaimed about 11 acres of land. There's also, I've heard rumors and plans of rumors that they're going to do the same thing at West Trade and 77. And there's a lot of land to be reclaimed there. If you look at how much land 277 and all the interstates around town take up, perhaps we could use some of that for housing. And the Freeways Without a Future article talks about other cities. But what I wanted you to be aware of is just what's the impact of all of the freeways we have, quote unquote, here in Charlotte, in terms of how much land they actually really do take up. South Charlotte, before 277 came from 77 up the hill, was a vibrant neighborhood with a nice grid. Today, if it was still there, the houses would be worth a whole lot of money because they wouldn't be the houses that were there then, but they'd be new houses that would be worth a lot of money. All right, next slide. Form-based zoning. Are we doing form-based zoning or are we not doing form-based zoning in Charlotte? Okay. Here we are, whatever. Next slide. Let's find out what form-based zoning is if you don't know what form-based zoning is. All right. And is it good, bad, indifferent? That sort of thing. So something good. Next slide, please. Oh, okay. What is this? Anybody got a clue? The dorm for a ferry.
Oh, the movie.
Yeah, this is an office space turned into dorm rooms. All right, I gave you guys the article a few months ago that we should turn our excess office space into vertical gardens. All right, and you all have been wonderful advocates for this, and I see, wait a minute, you haven't. But if you were, here's another idea, because I have another article, which I'm going to send to you guys, and it talked about, it measured 80-something cities in the US, and it said which cities could benefit most from converting office space into something else, residential. Charlotte was number 7 on the list. All right. And there were other cities that probably have more stuff, but Charlotte was on the list. So here's just another idea when you're out. I mean, this is, people may accidentally listen to you and own a building and decide that this is a great idea. But next slide. I mean, these things could all happen, but adormable. It's a new word. All right. Oh, okay. Yes, that's right. DC. Yes. Okay. There we go. And that's our meeting for today, folks. We will have, let's see, we've got executive meeting next week. Planning committee is meeting tomorrow. Zoning committee has the work session from the June meeting in August. There are no meetings in August for everybody except for the folks that are doing the zoning committee meeting. This is your month break. Everybody enjoy it. I will miss you. My life will be an empty shell without you. Something like that. Yes, ma'am?
Just a quick question. There is city council in August on the 18th as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that would be, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is what would be the new zoning committee for hearing on the 18th.
No,
We're going to do so you're going to do 2?
What'll happen is current zoning committee does the 18th August, and then they'll have a work session at the beginning of September, which will probably occur before our retreat. And then after our retreat in September, the new committees will.
Okay. I just want to make sure Dave has all the.
I will be sending Dave a note and
Okay.
explaining, because we have a couple of new ones on the zoning committee who've never done zoning before. So we need to have a little chat with them to kind of get them up to speed.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Tuesday.
Yes. Yeah. The transition happens after our retreat.
Right. Okay. So Yeah, second is work session, 8th will be retreat.
Retreat.
Okay, and so we'll still track through. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're
Yes.
tracking through August, but he thought we were switching in August. So we just need to make sure that he's got all that.
We used to when the things all lined up, but council does their thing, council used to not be in August, and I don't know why.
Now
But
they're
they
in
decided to
July.
do it in
Yeah.
July, so it made sense for us. I think the last 2 years, maybe we've done after September, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. We're all good? There a motion for us to adjourn?
Motion, Wilden.
Okay. All right, it's been moved to second. Let's get out of here. Thanks, everybody. Have a good rest of the summer. Okay.